Here we go. There it is, football talk. And we finally got you up in here, Chief. I see you right up there.
What up?
Try to make your screen a little bit bigger. You know, get you there. Get you there. We see you.
Get a little bit closer in there. There we go. How's it
Boom.
going, folks?
What up? Well, we got two of us now. Finally up in here. Great. Good time to actually be able to see us both chat. This way, it's not just me here. And I'm just sitting here nodding. Like, go ahead, Chief.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
now it's me. You
No,
can
exactly.
see me. I can't pick my nose anymore.
You can see what team he
All right.
reps. I don't have to keep saying.
Yeah.
All right. Well, here we go. First time with this. Let's do it. Fucking right.
Let's get it,
First,
boys.
first game on the map. Obviously, the Thursday night football of NFC showdown. Falcons and Panthers.
Yeah, I was. I don't want to say surprised, just based on the way that Matt Ryan has been playing. I mean, just the Falcons in general have been playing. But because the Falcons are 1-6, I was a little surprised the Panthers lost. Um, I think. Yep, me and you both went against the Falcons last week, so
Pretty much.
we were proven wrong. But hey, I'm proud. As as it says on ESPN, this time the Atlanta Falcons finished.
Well, and yeah, because
I'm proud of them.
I still remember I actually watched this game on Twitch last week because the Thursday night footballs they now have on Twitch, and I just remember all of the people in the chat when they scored their touchdown and the offense was coming back on the field for Carolina. Everyone was like, "Here it is, it's choke season." I kept on trying to say it, just thinking that was,
It's time.
and then Fox trolled the hell out of Atlanta. You know, I don't care what they say. They were trolling. They said, "Oh, the Falcons are 0-3 when leading by 28 points or more in the fourth quarter." And the second thing was, Falcons are 0-3 when they have a 98% chance of winning. Right now, 97% chance of winning. Oh, by the
Oh my
way,
God.
here are those 3 weeks and how many points they blew in those 3 weeks and at what time they blew those 3 points. It was like they
Oh,
went through three different stat sheets in that one drive
They
for the Falcons.
they
I was
burned the hell out of them. It was awesome. And I'm so happy they actually won and proved those stats wrong.
I felt
So it
so
wasn't just a
bad.
big let's just kick you while you're down.
No, Benji. This is the football talk, there, guy. You can join in like the chat right here, like right here with the um obviously talking with us. But this is what me and Chief have been trying to do. This is our thing right here. And but yeah, going back to what you were saying, yeah, it was every other drive. By the way, Falcons. By the way, Falcons. By the way, Falcons. But Falcons came out and said,
Just
"Yeah, yeah, you won."
finally gotta just give that one to them.
I freaking 100% agree. And the funny thing is, they won off of not even Matt Ryan. He threw no touchdowns, interception, and the running game. Todd Gurley got a touchdown, and well, I guess Matt Ryan ran in for a touchdown. So they were able to get the ball downfield, and then said, "Okay, let me just run the ball in real quick." So
They recognize that Matt Ryan hasn't been able to finish, so somebody else picked up the slack, got
yeah,
the job done. Proud
and
of them.
and shout out to Young Hoku for getting 4 for 4 on the field goal except for the extra point. He did miss an extra point, but he went 4 for 4 where it mattered with 3 points.
Young Hoku is definitely unrelated, but Young Hoku is definitely one of my favorite names in football. I have a few. Fletcher Cox, all-time favorite. Don't know if I can ever beat it.
It's Fletcher Cox.
It's it's
He's a
Fletcher
name
Cox.
you'll remember too.
Exactly.
And here we are with another AFC East rivalry with the Bills and Patriots. Another really close game that I was actually like surprised it was close. But I'm actually happy it was close too.
I am surprised it was close as well. But I mean, I'm also very happy that it went the way that it did. As a New England resident, it's about time the Ravens suck. The Ravens suck. Wow. Sorry about that. I'm looking at myself. I'm not used to it. Um, it's about time that the Patriots suck.
I was about to
It's
say,
about time the
I was like
Ravens
the
are good.
Ravens, huh?
Ravens need to do good.
Interesting.
About time the Patriots suck. I mean, I know we're not supposed to talk about age. I am in my late 20s, let's just say. And for the last 20 years, New England has just dominated football. And I have lived here not as a New England fan, and it has sucked. And it is just absolutely wonderful to see their team doing terrible and all of them just crawling in their holes and not saying a word.
It, I mean, even as a resident over on the West Coast that I was, I mean, I've dealt with that myself. Where I have the people who are, they watch they're the people who watch Super Bowl parties. The ones that don't really care for football, they just like to watch Super Bowls. And
Yep.
most of them have like the New England Patriot like lanyard or something like that. And they're like, yeah, the Patriots. And I'm like, of course the Patriots. And
No,
now
yeah, the bandwagoners.
and then when Seattle started winning, all of a sudden that Patriot lanyard turned to a Seahawk lanyard, and I was just like, of course it did. and so that's where I'm like, for me, I became more of an all around NFL fan, and I like doing this stuff because, like you said, I don't want to say like it feels good to see the Patriots lose. It just feels nice to see that there's other teams now doing well, like the Bills, 6-2 right now, leading the AFC East, and not seeing the Patriots for the upteenth time of throughout the 2 decades that we watched them of just Patriots gonna win, Patriots gonna win, Patriots gonna win. Oh, they're in the playoffs. Oh, they're in the playoffs. It's nice
I
to see
mean,
the
now with
variety.
that being said, if the Patriots somehow, I mean, I know they're 2-5. I don't know what the percentage is for teams that are start off 2-5 getting into the playoffs, but with the potential that they are extending the playoffs to, I believe, 16 teams, like half the league, if they have to delay some games. But I do know that they were adding on another team in general, so they might add on the two teams. There's a lot going around, but I mean, if there is some way that Belichick squeezes his way into the playoffs and he does his Belichick thing and just somehow brings the Patriots on a fucking run, I wouldn't be surprised, and it would be cool to see, but I not for the Patriots. Like just anybody but the Patriots. Like give somebody else a chance.
Absolutely, and I agree with that. And for this game, honestly, it was a kind of actually it wasn't like Josh Allen was not Josh Allen in this game. Like I've praised him, I've showed so much love for him this year with all the stuff he's done in this game. I mean, 11 for 18, 154 yards with an interception. I mean, just non-existent. I mean, Cam Newton had the same basic numbers: 15, 25, 174 yards, no touchdown or interception. So I mean, it just seemed like passing was there to get downfield. But otherwise, I mean, both sides, Devin Singletary, or I'm sorry, Zach Moss with 14 of 81 yards, 2 touchdowns. Singletary had a good game too, 14 of 86. But like I said, it was more of the rushing game for both sides, really trying to figure out who's going to run it in at the end, if you will. Passing wise, just wasn't
Those,
there.
yeah, I mean those two extra rushing yards helped Buffalo, I guess.
It sure did seem like it. The 2 extra yards with that one extra touchdown, and then of course the when you have your kicking, like you literally win by one field goal, which usually goes to show with like how everything plays out. So either way, it was a good close game though to watch all the way to the end. But yeah, definitely good to see Buffalo still on the trail. I want to see Buffalo make it far. I do. Like even if they go against the Chiefs in the AFC Championship, I want to see it. Like just for the fact I want to hope to see a good game and not see a blowout win, if anything.
Yeah. I mean, and playoff teams are completely different teams sometimes, which, I mean, the Chiefs, are just going to show up. But I mean, in that instance, we don't know. We could see a playoff Bills that we have never seen before, who just dominate and somehow upset the Chiefs. All it takes is one win. And I mean, look at the 49ers last year. I mean, they started doing good towards the end of the season and just kind of just no, like they're
Oh
coming
yeah.
out of nowhere.
Well,
Okay, let's go.
after that Garoppolo trade or whatever, yeah, he like literally brought the team and like took them what was it 7-0 or eight. It was like 7-0 or 8-1 or it was only one loss though, or at most one
Yeah,
loss. Otherwise, they were just winning games left and right. And Garoppolo was on fire for that team,
just hasn't been able to do it that much this year.
which definitely begins that here soon. And then so moving on from that game, we got the Titans on a two-loss streak now after losing to the Steelers, and of all teams, they lost to the Bengals, who pretty much stepped up and had a really good game against the Titans. Shockingly enough, I think you and I both voted uh, for the Titans on this one, didn't we?
I do believe so. Let me double check. Yeah, me and you both went Titans on this one.
Yeah.
I'm, I'm happy. I mean, Joey Burrow showed up.
Hmm.
No interceptions, no sacks. I mean, thank God the Bengals are doing something to protect him
Like
because
that's the main thing.
I
Like
mean,
get that zero sacks on, and then like let him just give him protection to throw the ball. He will make stuff happen. I mean, he went like 60 or 70% to 26-37 with the two TDs and 250 yards. So I mean, he did what he needed to get the ball downfield, and
I mean,
I mean Tannehill kind of did the same, but like unfortunately he had the interception and a sack, so that doesn't again that's not going to help your team. Sorry, you were saying.
the interception right. Oh, I was gonna say, yeah, that interception right there. I mean, that they score on that drive that they got intercepted, that changes the whole game. 27-31. You kick a field goal when you were going to go for 7 points, try to get closer. Could have been a whole different game.
Also, I feel like Derrick Henry definitely was underused in this game. I mean, he had 18 carries, sure, but he had 112 yards and a touchdown. And I see that, and I'm kind of like thinking, or even this Jeremy McNichols guy who had 4 for 49. It's like, obviously, the running game was doing really well against the Bengals. I would have thought, give Henry the ball a little bit more, try to get, especially if you're close to the red zone, like, give him the rock to,
Oh, absolutely.
like, I mean, he can make stuff happen. And on the other side, you have Giovanni Bernard and Perrine, can't really say his first name, but they both have a touchdown each, off literally 100 yards rushing, whereas Tennessee had 200. I'm like, well, if it's not broke, don't fix it. Like let him run the ball. Like Tannehill can still throw the ball, but give him like Derrick Henry is your guy. He is like Tannehill's just there as a quarterback to help you for now, but Derrick Henry's your guy. Let him run the rock. I mean, unless he like actually says, "Hey, I'm tired of shit." Let him run it. Like, he is a beast. Let him do his thing. I mean, obviously you don't want to see him break, but like, goodness, like at least let him. Like 18 carries is that's very small amount for a guy that's like your top player, pretty much.
Yeah, and I mean, and as we've seen too, I mean, Derrick Henry works very well in the, wear him down a little bit first. I mean, he has stamina, as we've seen before. He can break out on those long plays towards the end of the game. So, like, you need to wear him down with Derrick Henry. Like, yeah, you're gonna have, like this game, you're gonna have 18 carries for 112 yards. Not bad, but not necessarily great. But, that 19th, 20th play that you used Derrick Henry, that's the one where they get a little tired on and he slips through for a 70-yard run. You know,
Exactly, and that's exactly like you said. Wear him down. They get tired of shit. All of a sudden, you're on the like 50-yard line, 2nd and 6, and that defensive line is just staggering to the line. Boom, he busts up the middle. Well, he has a secondary in front of him. Easy. He's got another 20 plus yards. Like it's just it's all. I mean, I get like you don't want to run the ball too much because then like they're gonna just scheme on you against that. But you still want to make sure you give him more than just 18 carries. That's just my thing on that. And then Goskowski obviously missed a field goal as well. He's just still not. He's just well, goodness gracious, that guy needs to.
I give up on him. I give up.
He's very what's the word?
Done.
Inconsistent. That's
Wash
the
my
word.
hands. Wash my hands, Godskowski. If you have him on your fantasy team, drop him. Chief said so.
Drop
Chief
him.
approved. Put stamp on that.
and a lot of people have too, unfortunately. And not unfortunately, but it's more like it's unfortunate for him. I don't know what's going on with him, but he needs to. Yeah, it's just ugly. And speaking of ugly, let's go to the Raiders Browns game because that game was ugly. I mean, you got Derek Carr, 15 to 24, 111 yards with one touchdown. He threw an average of 5 yards. That was his average, 4.6. Sorry, 4.6 yards of freaking throw. That's like rushing numbers, bro. Like he ran more than he freaking threw. That's and then you got the same on the other side. Baker Mayfield, 12 of 25, 122 yards, looking like the same Baker we've seen all fucking year.
I
And
mean, I was so excited for Baker Mayfield after last week. I mean,
like, what the
just
hell?
uh,
Like he was
he
literally.
didn't ha he doesn't have OBJ.
So what? He has Landry. Look at I. Oh my lord! And then you see the numbers down here. I just
Somebody needs to tell him that.
okay. But apparently they did, and apparently there was something going on because Landry had 4 for 52, 4 catches for 52 yards. He was targeted 11 times, so he missed 7 catches that were thrown towards him. I don't know if it was because of his hands or if Baker missed him, but
So someone told the Raiders that they have Jarvis Landry, but nobody told.
uh, well, apparently Baker didn't know what to do with that. Like, apparently, he just kept trying to throw to Landry and hope for the best. And honestly, 4 for 11, holy shit, that is not. Oh, and then I look at
That
the
Patrick Mahomes meme only works for Patrick Mahomes. Fuck it. I know Tyreek down there somewhere.
and see, and then in Las Vegas Raiders did what we just said that the Titans need to do. They ran Josh Jacobs, 31 carries, 129 yards. I mean, it's not pretty, but he had 4 yards to carry, 129 yards. He didn't get a touchdown, but they probably could have with him. And they got the ball downfield like they needed to. And so, they had the one touchdown thrown to Hunter Renfro, and pretty much that was all they needed. Otherwise, it was just a big field goal barrage after that. And yeah, it just otherwise it's just like I said, it was just a really you can say it was a defensive game if you want to, but yeah, it was just a yikes kind of game. I'm not gonna lie.
Big yikes.
Big oofs. And yes, they went old school and ran. Yeah, they did, Rooster. And honestly, that's what we were saying. The Titans need to start figuring out. Like Vrabel, I know he likes his plays and stuff, and Tannehill is still a good quarterback. But when you have a great, monstrous running back like Henry, I mean, I'm not gonna lie. That's like it's like they're trying to make Tannehill into like a Big Ben Roethlisberger kind of thing with James Conner instead of like Cam Newton with Christian McCaffrey. Like, I mean, I'm not saying that he like Henry is more of like a bulky guy though. He's more like the bulky McCaffrey because he can get downfield with his size. And
Yes.
and unfortunately, the Titans are underusing him, and that's why we see him with these breakout games where people are like, "Holy shit, Derrick Henry with a big game." It's like, yeah, because they finally got like the runs that he was trying to show them, and
Fucking random.
and even then, like on those games, you see him, he only has 20 carries, 22 carries, 21 carries, never anything at 30, and they need to do that. That's just my thing on that. Um, moving on from that, we have the Colts just on the Lions. I mean, 41 to
That's
21.
creepy.
I think this was like $1.50.
Oh, I was gonna say, I heard him. I didn't know if he was gonna show up. I was gonna go check the stream. Like that's
Oh, it's a creepy mask. That is for sure.
a creepy
Sure,
man.
he'll debut it somewhere.
Oh lord. We're looking at Philip Rivers had an interesting game against the Lions. Holy shit! I mean, 3 touchdowns, 22-33, 262 yards. Not numbers I would expect from him. Honestly, I really would not. And I mean,
Uh,
he stepped up.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't. I mean, the completion rate a little sketchy. That's about 60%,
Yeah.
66%. I mean, not the best, but hey, got the job done. Was able to get down the field when he needed to. No interceptions. A couple of sacks, but that wasn't sure if that was his fault or not.
Yep.
So hey,
Stafford did
not
what he
too
did.
bad.
Stafford did what he could. I mean, 24 42, 336 yards with 3 touchdowns. Did throw a pick, but I mean, the dude had 5 sacks total on him, which just shows his O line was, I mean, it wasn't
Booty
just not helping. Yeah. And then you look at the running
being the
game, and
Lions.
you just look at the running game, and you just it that just speaks volumes as well. Like 13 carries, 29 yards total rushing for the Lions. Yikes! That's all I can say is yikes. Whereas
Oof.
Wilkins, just Wilkins alone, the main guy of the Colts, 20 carries, 89 yards for a touchdown. I mean, just that alone,
Yeah.
like I said. Looks like he really enjoyed throwing to Marvin Hall, 4 catches, 113 yards. T.J. Hawkinson, 7 catches, 65 yards. Um, there is
Marvin Jones.
there is, Kenny Galladay had 0 catches on 4 targets. I know there was talk. I don't think it ever happened that he was going to get traded at the deadline. Um, it would be sad to see him leave though, or get released by the Lions, or get traded out in the offseason because I could see this happening honestly. Unfortunately, because Galladay is a great receiver, but I'm not sure how much longer he's going to be in Detroit and where he could end up afterwards. You know,
Yeah, I mean,
Chief,
the Lions are pulling the
Chiefs will
Lions.
shit on the Jets. They did. They did.
Oh, they destroyed them.
Like, they really did. We'll get into that. Don't worry. And it'll probably be a quick talk because there's not much to say on that game.
Jets stuck.
Jets suck. It suck. I just I it's so hard. I want to be nice, damn it.
I don't. They suck.
And Jesus, yeah, and just like look at the rest of this game, look at the facts. I mean, the only thing that I mean, Detroit even missed a field goal. The Colts had went 3 for 5 in extra points, so I mean that's pretty bad actually. You need to make those field goals, but otherwise, Colts just had a great game, just destroyed the Lions. Lions have no running game whatsoever, and they need to figure out the wide receiver rotation because I feel like they really don't know who Stafford wants to throw to anymore. But
Yes.
it's all right. Moving on from there, we got this next game where we had the Vikings surprisingly step up. They said no, no Packers, no.
I mean, before we say the Vikings stepped up, I think I'm gonna go on record and say that there's Dalvin Cook stepped up.
You know what? I was just about I right when you say before we say the Vikings step up, right as you were saying that, I was like, I Dalvin Cook. Yep, you're right because I mean, holy shit. Again, numbers that Henry should have, but Dalvin Cook deserves these numbers absolutely. 30 carries, 163 yards, 3 touchdowns. Monstrous game against the Packers.
Just, I mean, I know only by 3 yards, but when you outrun what your quarterback throws, like that's a good fucking game.
By 3 yards. But
By 3 yards, but still count it.
whereas yep, Kirk Cousins 11 for 14 on point, 160 yards with 1 touchdown. But Minnesota just said, "Look, Kirk, you're doing well throwing. Then no, you're hand the ball off. But look, coach, I'm doing no hand the ball off.
No,
Give it to
you're
Cook.
going against Aaron Rodgers, who is going to outthrow you all day long, which he did. 291 yards for 3 touchdowns. Fucking
Just amazing.
great.
And I mean, Jamal Williams had a decent game, 16 carries, 75 yards. It just they just got down. They just were getting to the end zone, and they just weren't.
But
Didn't,
like Kirk Cousins going against Aaron Rodgers, Jamal Williams was going against Dalvin Cook.
yeah,
And this game, Dalvin Cook showed out.
yep. And including the one receiving touchdown was also to Dalvin Cook, who had 2 catches, 63 yards for that one touchdown, and his longest catch was 50 yards, which was a 50-yard bomb probably for a touchdown. Like,
That was just.
and then Devontae Adams led the way for the receiving on the Packers, 7 catches, 53 yards, with all 3 TDs being to him. I mean, don't get me wrong, the Packers and stepped up and tried to do what they could against the Vikings, but I mean, you got
Now
Rod.
I'm gonna go on record. Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off there.
Oh
But
no,
I
you're
was gonna
good.
say
Just got
I'm gonna
Rodgers
go on
having one
record
lost
and
fumble.
say yes, and that was I mean that definitely was a part of it. But
Hmm.
I think that last play where Aaron Rodgers got hit, ball came or got his arm hit as he was throwing. I think Aaron Rodgers would have pulled a miracle if he had not gotten hit. I think that would have been a touchdown and ended the game right there.
Nice. What's your team there, Flex Ozzy? Feel free to share that in the chat there, bud. We'll if we've talked about them, we can bring up what we said to about them. But definitely feel free to share what your team is, bud. No hate
If
here.
you say the Jets, if you say the Jets are getting timed out though.
I have no qualms on this. I will let he's Chief is in charge of chat, so he has. What's your team though, Flex? What's your team there? But
Unless you have like a sad backstory, like your grandfather's dying wish was that the Jets win a Super Bowl, and you have to cheer for them. I'll give you that one, but the odds of that probably a hell of a lot higher than the Jets winning the Super Bowl. But you know,
right now, I mean, yeah. The only Pro Bowler that's coming out of the Jets right now is their punter. Let's just put it that way. Oh goodness.
terrible but true.
It, and speaking of the Jets, next game we have coming up to the Chiefs and the Jets. And let's just gonna talk about the Chiefs and let's see how we don't need to talk about the other side. We can just so Mahomes had a great game, 31 to 42, 416 yards, 5 touchdowns. Ridiculous day for him. Would be considered player of the week if it wasn't the Jets he was playing against, to be honest.
I mean, the NFL gave him Player of the Week, and that was just my personal opinion. Why I didn't give him our Player of the Week was you're going against the Jets and you're Patrick Mahomes. Like Patrick Mahomes alone, like you should be putting up at least 250 plus every game, at least 2, 3 touchdowns. Like that's just kind of the reputation you've earned as a quarterback. And not saying, not, and I'm not taking away from other people. Like other people should do that too, but um, they. Oh, what do you say? Give me Tannehill. We did talk about them.
Quarterback Tannehill and Newton. Oh, is he talking about? Wait,
Oh, give me 1 second.
oh, you talk. Okay, you're talking about for your fantasy league. Okay. So quarterback in Tannehill and Newton. Running backs Justin Jackson, Zeke. Definitely Zeke is okay. Yeah, definitely Zeke's one. I don't know. I win. That's a tough one, man. Because Zeke is pretty much non-existent this year for the Cowboys. That's a tough one to run with. Nick Chubb was great until he got injured. Um, DMC. Oh crap. I'll remember that one. Uh, Mustaire's really good. And keep him around. In MG3. Oh, Melvin Gordon the third. Melvin Gordon third had a great game, and then he just kind of acted. He started acting up a little bit. Um, Michael Thomas again, another great choice for a receiver, but for some reason he's acting weird with the Saints right now. Hopefully he gets his stuff together, starts playing. Um, Hopkins, a great pick as well. Yeah, I mean he's been fantastic with the Cardinals. Parker, Devontae Parker, he's been all right with the Dolphins. I think that with Tua there, he might get more stuff. That'll be great. Galladay, he might be going somewhere else. I'm not gonna lie, unfortunately. I feel like Detroit's just not his home anymore. Andrews a great tight end, absolutely keep him. Will Lutz as a kicker, absolutely. Defense Patriots, iffy. I would if you can for defense, I would say obviously Colts would be a great pick. Ravens, putting together good defenses. Goodness, ones that have been doing really well. I'm thinking defensively. The Steelers as well. Steelers defense, like those would be ones I would do. McCaffrey,
Steelers defense is underrated in my opinion right now.
they really are. Like
Like
they've been doing a
not
lot for
being
that
talked
team.
about.
And thank you so much, there Flex, for that follow as well, bro. I appreciate you coming through with that follow. We'll be doing this. We do this weekly, so feel free to keep on stopping by. We also play Madden, so feel free to check up on that as well. Um, the Rooster Pit, yeah, I know. Depth, the Steelers fan right there himself. I know. But
Mm, yeah, we'll get to you.
yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Mm,
And looking at back of the Chiefs, I mean, had no running game either. That's the I feel bad for. I mean, even Le'Veon, they even gave Le'Veon Bell the chance to run the rock. He only went 6 for 7, 6 carries on 7 yards. I mean, I don't know if it's because he was playing against his old team or learning a new system, but definitely didn't show out against his old team, unfortunately. And I'm sure the Jets paid good money for him not to show out against his old team. Just saying.
I
uh,
mean, I think the most interesting stat that isn't talked about. Well, no, it was talked about a little bit. Le'Veon Bell was the Jets' highest paid player on the field in their game against the Chiefs.
yep. Lamar Jackson, Aaron Jones, Deontay Johnson. Oh goodness, you don't start off. Was just said. uh, but I'll read the last part of that message when he sends it. But yep. And then with Kansas City, I mean, pretty much going down the list of the receivers who you'd expect to show up showed up. Travis Kelsey, 8 for 109 yards for touchdowns. Tyreek Hill, 4 for 98 for 2 touchdowns. Nicole Hardman, 7 for 96 a touchdown, and Demarcus Robinson, 463 and a touchdown. Just all out. This was like one of those simulated Chiefs games. You just like I said, it just looked like a Chiefs game. It looked like some you would play Madden and boom, this would happen kind of thing. And otherwise, looking at everything else, yeah, I mean the Jets dig down the field to get into a position to try to get to scoring, but fortunately had a field goal kick 4 times. Sorry, they made three and punted the ball way too many times. So that's the only thing I'll say about the Jets. And Chiefs just had a great game.
Yeah.
Hopefully, the Jets will figure out stuff next year. That's all I gotta say.
The tank for Trevor.
And also for
Or
the
the fail
Dolphins.
for Fields.
Also for the Dolphins, I think this was his first week, wasn't it? His first week as starter.
Yeah, that's it. Tua Tunga Valoa.
Yes.
I'm getting good at that now, last name. Proud of myself.
Dago Viola. Dago Viola. Dago Viola.
Tagovailoa, that
can't.
one I butchered it.
It's
That
okay.
one I
I'm trying.
butchered it.
I've heard it a few times. I'm trying to remember it, but didn't do much actually this game. 12, 22, 93 yards for a touchdown. I mean, he got a touchdown, but I mean, just kind of it almost looked like he came in the fourth quarter and kind of played a little bit, you know. Whereas golf, I mean, 35-61, 355 yards for a touchdown, 2 interceptions. They really were trying to rely on golf in this one, that's for sure. 61 attempts. Holy goodness.
Yeah, that was a lot. They definitely overthrew him.
All right, so sorry, Flex, I'm catching up on your chat there. So you traded all those guys right there for Nick Chubb, Mark Andrews, Cam Newton, Hopkins, Zeke. I would have kept Aaron Jones over Zeke. Like if you guys could have gotten rid of those two, I feel like you would have had a better team. Um, Lamar, Cam Newton, that's a tough one. I would have kept Lamar too. Otherwise, Hopkins and Nick Chubb and Mark Andrews were a good trade for. I'll admit that. John McKinnon for Mostert, that's a good pickup. Teams are good. Only 2 and 6. Yeah. I'm on Xbox too, by the way. Sorry, I'm just catching up with chat real quick before we move on. Xbox for both of us here. What's up there? You can't run. Close game last week versus Pittsburgh. That's right, man. We're getting to that game actually real soon here. Right now, we're just going down the list. We're going over the Rams Dolphins game because I'm actually trying to figure out where they got the last two touchdowns because they got one with the Rasheen with Miles Gaskin, one with Tua. So am I so Oh, and then they recovered two lost fumbles. Same with the Rams, done them. And I guess defensively, did they score any? Was it two fumble touchdowns or?
No, they did have one punt return touchdown. I will be back in 1 second. Sorry.
No worries. Oh, there it is. You have Jakeem Grant with a punt return for a touchdown. Okay. Yeah. So I mean, this one I would have to say, oh wow. Yeah, Miami won this game 28-17, yet have more punts with 9 punts for 385 yards. I mean, That's nuts. That's a crazy stat to see that the Dolphins won 28-17 and yet still punted more than the Rams did. That's interesting. Jakeem Grant, definitely kudos to you there though, getting that punt return for a touchdown, and I'm pretty sure it was a fumble return for a touchdown because that's the only other thing I can see where they could have gotten a touchdown with. It's your TD, yeah, right here. Andrew Van Keel Greenco, looks like he got a touchdown off a probably off of the fumble recovery, like I said, for a touchdown. So very nice job by the defense of the Dolphins to hold the Rams, and like I said, just great job carrying Tua to his first victory. And Tua needs just, you know, they tried him, he's done his thing. Now he needs to do more. He needs to definitely get more of those passes off. That's for sure. Texas, but I'm sort of
Yeah,
Cardinals fan
for sure.
with you, Hub. Yeah, I totally understand that, Flex, and Hopkins has been, like I said, fantastic for the Cardinals. Like, I talk so much heat. Like, you can ask Chief here. I talk so much heat about how the game just started. Yeah, I kind of figured. But I talk so much heat about how D Hop got his 27 million a year. Sorry if I can say it right, contract, and I was like, that is ridiculous. That's too much money. I don't believe it. But then the games he's been playing this year, I'm like, you know what? Never mind. He stepped up, doing well. I'm gonna let that go. And as far as for the Texans, I'm glad they got rid of Bill O'Brien, got that dude out. I'm glad that what's his name came in. I can't remember his name right now. All I know is that damn meme that people brought up. We are who we thought they are. But glad that he came back and he actually has been doing his best with the Texans. And the Texans are, they're a good team. They just need that coaching now, and definitely need to figure out that running system because, yeah, Murray has been a beast. Honestly, the defensive player, I like him as a pickup. I've been like ever since week one, I was like, dude, this kid's stepping up, and then like ever since then, he's been doing really well. So I agree on that. Um, Definitely need to figure out the running back system though. David Johnson, either fix some with him or get move on because yeah, that was a Bill O'Brien right there. That's all I gotta say. Um, Moving on from the Rams, and I was just saying about the Rams Dolphins game. The Dolphins chief punted more times than the Rams did and still won.
Yep.
Insane game.
Yeah,
Next,
Dolphins definitely had a good game.
next up, between Chief and Rooster, there we got the Steelers and the Ravens, where pretty much you had Big Ben still doing his thing, 21-32, 118 yards, two touchdowns. And Lamar still did, what he could, 13 and 28, a little bit less than 50%, 208 yards, two touchdowns. Did throw two picks, though, and had four sacks. So O line may have a factor on that, or they just had a good blitz scheme. Never know. Pittsburgh defense is, like you said, a very underrated team. Very strong D line and very strong linebacking core right there with TJ Watt, Bud Dupree, Cameron Hayward. List goes on. Stephon Tuitt.
Yeah, they're. I mean, Steelers all around are a dangerous team this year. I mean, if you go you look on offense too, I mean, nothing huge from the receivers, but when you have three receivers, I mean, one at 42, one at 48, one at 67. So I mean, you got almost 150 yards between three receivers. I mean, that's not bad. That's having that diversity is amazing.
Yeah, no, absolutely, and and that's where like for the Ravens, I mean, like I said, yeah, J.K. Dobbins still doing well with Gus Edwards on the running system, so you had like Lamar still
Yes.
doing his thing in the passing, which was okay. I mean, he threw two picks, but it, that's gonna happen. And you had the running backs running a bunch with Lamar; they were doing well. But like I was seeing Rooster say in the chat, honestly, what won the game for the Steelers probably is that strong defense of holding the Ravens to the amount of touchdowns they got, getting those turnovers when needed, and just stepping up. and excuse me. Also, like I said, getting after those fumbles as well. That yeah, Lamar lost two fumbles. That's three fumbles total for Lamar, two lost. Definitely not something you want from your quarterback at all. Especially since this year they gave him the truth factor on Madden, which should have been using that Lamar.
Should have been using Best Factor X Factor. Come
Freaking
on.
apparently he traded for the freaking arm cannon, freaking the bazooka. Didn't
Ankle
realize
breaker.
he ended up fumbling three times. Damn it, Lamar, put the shit away.
Come on, Lamar.
Looking at the Pittsburgh defense, we got freaking Robert Spillbane, who had 11 total tackles, 10 solo for an interception. Great day for him, but even better day for Stephon Tuitt, 9 total tackles, 8 solo, 3 tackles for loss, including 2 sacks. Stephon Tuitt making Lamar just scared, just back there. He was just not
He had
happy.
Lamar's number.
And Lamar was not happy. Lamar was not happy with that. And again, another game where because the defense stepped up so much and did so much for the offense, Pittsburgh punted 6 times over Baltimore's 3 times. Were just insane numbers to see. Like a team win and still punt a lot more. That stuff just blows my mind.
Yeah. I mean, tough game. I'm mad at the boys, but I'm disappointed that we lost.
All right, there, Flex. Thank you so much for stopping by, though, my guy, and hopefully you enjoy the game. It's going to be a good one today for sure. And going back to here, so
I think Green Bay's already on the board actually.
ooh, very nice. I mean, it makes sense. I mean, playing against the Panthers, right?
49ers.
Niners, duh. I was thinking of something
Uh,
else. Um,
5 plays, 39 yards to Devontae Adams. One big 36-yard touchdown for Devontae Adams.
man, Aaron Rodgers, Devontae have been on the point this year. It's been a fun thing to see. It's been a lot of wide receiver quarterback duos this year that has been just fantastic to watch. I mean, you got Aaron Rodgers, Devontae Adams, DK Metcalf, Russell Wilson. Um, oh crap, I just had it in my head. Justin Jefferson, Kirk Cousins. I mean, even though that's still like on the brink. I mean, Justin Jefferson's been stepping up for Minnesota. Um, goodness, I literally just had it too. But anyway, like I said, it's just been a lot. Oh, D Hop and Kyler Murray, the main one. Like
Oh yeah.
they've been so many quarterback wide receiver duos this year that have been just. It's like I'm just surprised that these guys aren't being double teamed. Because I'm like, guys, you do realize that is his main target, and but it's like you can't just leave the other guys wide open. But it's like, wow,
Mahomes and any receiver.
Mahomes to
Correct.
anybody. Yeah. Oh man, that's true though. I mean, that's why we were just saying you can't run in like it was literally a Madden game against the Jets. It was freaking Demarcus Robinson, McCole Hardman, Tyreek Hill, Travis Kelsey, just Mahomes. Just give him anybody, he'll be fine. Now this Chargers Broncos game, what a shocking game, honestly, man. This was a good one. This was a really good game to watch. Herbert had a great game. I mean, he did throw 2 picks, but he had 3 touchdowns, 270 yards, 29 to 43. And even Drew Lock had a great fucking game. 26 of 41, 248 yards for 3 touchdowns and a pick as well. But I mean, 2 guys that are just trying to figure out their way in the NFL right now, rookie and then a second or third year. I mean, not a bad day for them against each other. And
Yeah, definitely wasn't a bad game. I mean, very close game. Broncos coming together in the last quarter and scoring 21 points, and that was definitely a big help.
yeah,
Um, all three of their touchdowns, or no, not all three of their touchdowns. Um, looks like they did have a defensive touchdown somewhere, or a rushing touchdown.
they did have one rushing touchdown for the.
Yep, Deshaun Hamilton. Oh no, I'm looking at another one. Sorry, Philip Lindsay. Wow.
But yeah, no, they did have a defensive. No, they just had the one rushing touchdown and then the field goal. Whereas Los Angeles had 3 touchdowns and 3 field goals. So unfortunately, this is for the Chargers, and this is another one where the Broncos had 6 punts over their 3 punts. But this one actually makes sense because they had 4 touchdowns, whereas the Chargers only had three. And instead of trying to get down the field more for touchdowns, they kept kicking field goal after field goal after field goal, which brings you closer, but you have to use that more sparingly. Like the way the Broncos did, 4 touchdowns, 1 field goal to win the game, if anything, that's fine. But you don't want to go 3 field goals and hope for the best. I just that's something you got to fix. Definitely as a team.
Yes, for sure.
Yeah. Otherwise, though, great game for the Chargers and the Broncos. I mean, just down to the wire. Love that kind of game. Just makes it so much more fun. And we got next Saints and Bears, who unfortunately I had Nick Foles hopefully doing well, but I mean he did well. Don't get me wrong. I mean 28-41, 2 touchdowns, 272 yards with an interception, but he also was sacked 5 times, so that didn't help him.
Oh, big pole falls.
Yep. And then Drew Brees, 31-41, 280 yards, 2 touchdowns, looking like Drew Brees does. With I mean not many yards, but he's still on point, accurate. Can't get away from that. Um, both running games were pretty much non-existent with but a few yards each. Taysom Hill actually ran the ball 5 for 35, so could be the next starting running back for the Saints. You never know. um, Saints did fumble 3 times, but they got the ball back every time. And yeah, I mean, otherwise this was just a close game down to the wire, and because of Will Lutz 4 for 5 field goals off and Cairo Santos 3 for 3, last play. I mean, pretty much last play of the game wins the game. I mean, again, not a bad game whatsoever. Very exciting. Both sides played their hearts out. I mean, I'm not upset. That's football right there. Hell yeah.
It's just football, unfortunately. I really wanted Bulls to win, but hey, you win some, you lose some. This time, unfortunately, Drew Brees got the best of him. He's a veteran quarterback. Can't be disappointed.
Yep. And next we got the Niners, who are playing right now against the Packers, who and they faced the Seahawks this last week, and you know I was expecting a good game, like kind of like last week with the Cardinals, but Seattle definitely kind of ran away a little bit on this one with 37 points. Russell Wilson just on fire, 27-37, 261 yards, 4 touchdowns. Nick Mullins actually stepped up and did a lot better for the Niners than Garoppolo did. 18-25, 2 touchdowns, no sacks, whereas Garoppolo with 11-16, 84 yards with an interception for 3 sacks. I mean, Nick Mullins could be starting more often if he keeps playing this way. Garoppolo, I mean, he showed that magic last year, or was it the year before? Showed that magic, and now it's like, what happened? Like this year's been so inconsistent with him. It's like I don't know what to say. It's just like Garoppolo, are you there?
I mean, maybe with this injury.
There was talk about that, yeah, because I know that that's one reason they benched him in that first game. He came back and he was upset about that because he wants to play for his team. But the coach said, "Look, like you obviously look still injured out there. Like take your time." He came back and had a great game the next week, but then after that, it's been again this, and I mean, it could be effects of the injury. It could, I mean, who knows? Who knows really what's going
The
on?
damn COVID.
um, running wise, both still had nothing going on. Seattle receiving, obviously DK Metcalf, like I said, 12, 161 yards for 2 touchdowns. I mean, instead of having Tyler Lockett's number, he had DK Metcalf's number for Russell Wilson. Just great game, like I said, all around for them on offense. And for the Niners, you had Ayuk and Bourne stepping up and making great plays. And I mean, just like I said, kudos to them for to Nick Mullins for keeping the offense in it as much as he could. But also Bobby Wagner, shout out to him for a great game. 11 total tackles, 6 solo with 2 sacks. and 3 tackles for loss, and he had 4 quarterback hits. So he was one of the main guys getting after them and scaring the crap out of Mullins or Garoppolo a bit.
It was definitely a good game for him.
Right. And otherwise, like I said, just this one goes to Seahawks, but otherwise, I still think it was a good game all around, and I like Nick Mullins in that game. I think Niners need to start looking his way a little more as he shows himself off a little more for that game. Yeah, for this one, I don't know what to say. Cowboys and Eagles. I mean,
I mean, it's kind of what I expected, but it's also a little surprising.
to say the least. I mean, Danucci, 21-40, 180 yards. I mean, he didn't score anything, but I mean, it's not like he really threw any interceptions or anything. And Wentz, on the other hand, threw 15, 27, 123 yards, 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. But then I scroll down a little more and I see that Danucci had 2 lost fumbles as well. So that makes a little more sense on why. But then same with Wentz, actually, that's right. So I mean, that's where it's almost like shocking to see the Eagles win this one because Wentz himself gave a four total gave the ball up 4 total times, 2 interceptions, 2 fumbles lost to the other team. And I guess for you, Chief, I have to ask is if you see that, like even though you came out with a win on this for the Eagles, the fact that you see the total turnovers caused by your quarterback, uh, no matter the outcome at all, do you still do you try to pursue your backup quarterback more? Do you try to get Jalen Hurts in there more, or are you just still running with Wentz this year?
I mean, depends on if they're really trying to make a push for it. I mean, I don't think they were super worried about him this game. Um, but I mean, that also raises the argument of why wouldn't you just put Jalen Hurts in, see what he can do, especially against a Cowboys team that everybody has essentially written off after Prescott got taken out, and now Dalton. So it's interesting they're not playing him. I mean, I guess it comes back to a Tua situation. Maybe they're just trying to get the last bit they can out of Wentz while they train Jalen Hurts to be exactly where they want him. But personally, myself, you don't play good for me for 2 games. I'm benching you just out of principle so that you try a little bit harder. I mean, that's why I'm an NFL coach, but I think I do pretty well in Madden.
I feel like that's as realistic as it can be. No, no, but I mean, like I'm just looking at it like this. Like you got Wentz here, who's pretty much like if you looked at it the other way, because it says he's tied 143rd with 12 interceptions, but basically that just means at the bottom of the list. He's pretty much like has the most interceptions in the league right now for any quarterback. Um, and he only has, so he's 12 for 12, 12 touchdowns, 12 interceptions. QBR is a 49.9, which is like the bottom 5 of the league, and his touchdown, and he's last for touchdowns for a quarterback. So again, looking at that, I mean, as a coach, I would
So,
definitely be on the fritz about if anything, giving Hurts time to kind of like not like you said, like even if it's in a game where you know it's a blowout win or you know it's like the Jets, or if it's a game where your team is somehow dominating and you have that third, fourth quarter 3 touchdown lead, why not put your guy in? Why not give him some reps? Like, yeah, sure, Wentz might feel some type of way about it, but I mean, your numbers don't say anything about that, Wentz. I'm just saying.
we saw Fitzmagic cry. I don't give a fuck about Wentz's feelings.
And honestly, Fitzpatrick didn't even deserve to get benched after that. Honestly, he played well. Like he legitimately played well against the team before he got benched. That's why it's almost was shocking to see him get benched because he actually stepped up and performed. Like he had 3 touchdowns. He did have 2 interceptions, but he had the game. Like they won. And then after that, he gets called in the office, and they say, "Yeah, we're gonna go with Tua from now on." I'd feel some type of way too.
My poor heart. That poor
Anything,
man.
if anything, send that boy to Dallas. Let him lead that team to victory. I don't know. Maybe. But
It can't, unfortunately, the trade deadline, but maybe there'll be some cutting involved. Who knows?
quite possibly.
Probably not.
Um, and then for the last game of this last week, we had the Buccaneers facing the Giants, and hell of a game. I mean, Daniel Jones had 25-41, 256 yards, two touchdowns, two interceptions, which is actually, besides the two interceptions, is a decent game for him. I mean, unfortunately, he still turned the ball over twice, but still, he drove the ball downfield where he could. Whereas Tom Brady, 20 for 40, 279 yards, two touchdowns, had a pretty much like a chill day. Just sat back drinking a lemonade. It was like, all right, have fun, guys. And no running game on either side except for a touchdown by Wayne Gallman for the Giants. And besides that, I'm pretty sure it was a defensive front for the Tampa Bay defense stepping up and just getting stuff done, holding them where they could, and Ryan Sucka pretty much kicking the field goals to give them the lead in the victory over the Giants, who after three touchdowns just apparently disappeared. Well, actually, no, that's a lie. They had two touchdowns, a field goal, then the last touchdown, but they still couldn't get the 2 point conversion to tie it up, from what it seemed like.
I mean, I'm not surprised by the outcome. I'm surprised by how it got there. But, I mean, I kind of expected Tampa Bay to come out on top on this one. Tampa Bay is a solid team. Maybe they were just playing at half speed this week. They're like, hey, we got a pretty easy game this week going against the Giants. They're 1-6. Let's
Mm-hmm.
just take it easy, have fun out there.
Very true, because that's possibly how it could happen. But either way, I mean, Giants put up a fight, almost got away with a win here. Fortunately, because they were ahead 14-6 at halftime. Unfortunately, Tom Brady being Tom Brady, he still was like, let's get at least a couple touchdowns in, and we should be fine after that. And pretty much what happened. So after all that, though, we have now our predictions for this week. While I know we know what's going on with the Packer game. Well, actually, before we do predictions, we have the awards to give out for Week 8. Which thank you for Chief for helping me out with this. So our offensive player of the week, obviously there's so many people that we like. Shout out Patrick Mahomes, 5 touchdowns, 400 yards. He would be obviously a great choice. Only reason why we don't pick him is because he went against the Jets. Otherwise, if he was going against like the Steelers and he had that kind of numbers, no doubt he would be him.
All day. All day. All my votes. That's him. Put him on the pedestal. Bring him around town. Show him off to my mom.
But unfortunately, since it was
All
against the
day.
Jets, it's kind of one of those things where we kind of like see that, and it's not to be rude to the Jets per se, but it's more like it's just kind of something we expected. Like, oh, 400 yards, 5 touchdowns from Mahomes against the Jets makes sense. Makes sense.
Like, yeah, makes sense. Yeah, that's not what I'm surprised at. Like,
I'm just surprised. What do you mean they got 9 points for the Jets? No, but we had to go with our guy, Mr. Dalvin Cook, 30 carries, 163 yards, three touchdowns against that Packer defense. Just there you go.
beautiful.
Just Dalvin
It was
Cook,
sad to see them run up on my boys, but it was beautiful.
just Dalvin Cook, and like the pot, the spoon, the cooking, they're cooking. Just saying, he cooked it off for them. And as far as for defensive player of the week, again, we have to do some shout outs to Bobby Wagner with his amazing game he had. And the same thing with Speller. Goodness, I can't remember his name right now. Spellermine from Pittsburgh, who had the 11 total tackles, one interception, everything. But unfortunately, we have to give it to his teammate, Stephon Tuitt, because Tuitt made Lamar scared shitless back there with his three quarterback hits, three tackles for loss, three quarterback hits, two sacks, and nine total tackles with eight tackles by himself. Ridiculous, man, scary guy, making Lamar scare shitless back there. Rookie of the week. Rookie of the week. It was tough to give. I mean, we will always want to give it to Joe Burrows, and obviously Herbert had a great week too, but he did have those two picks. If I had to pick one this week, I'm gonna have to give it to J.K. Dobbins of the Ravens. Stepped up today, had a 100-yard game. I think it was his first of his career as an NFL player. Just showed the Ravens that hey, I'm here, I'm ready to play. We may have lost his last one, but you know what? Even against he went against the Steelers linemen. He went against the Steelers defensive front and the linebacking core. That's pretty damn good for somebody like J.K. Dobbins to go against them and still get 100 plus yards a game or 100 plus yard
I
game.
mean, having Mark Ingram out this game, I wouldn't necessarily say hurt us, but at least in my view, Dobbins is a little bit more of our speed guy, whereas Mark Ingram trucks through the line. So perhaps that would have ended the game a little bit differently, but I think, first time up against the Steelers, there's a saying, it hasn't happened yet for this rookie class, but you're not officially a Raven until you've beaten the Steelers. So, I'm pretty sure we play them again later on this year. We got redemption.
Makes sense. Biggest bust of the week. Honestly, I didn't even think we had one this week. Really, I mean,
Personally, myself, I think Baker Mayfield was one of my biggest busts, especially after coming off the week that he had 5 touchdowns, and then this week not even being able to score one. That's big disappointment.
yeah, I agree with that because I mean, yeah, this one was one I was still trying to figure out to the end here because it was one that there was really much for disappointment this week, but the only one I can think like now you mentioned it, I mean Baker Mayfield really would be the only one because we had like so much hope for him after the last game and for him just to come out and pretty much just like completely go back to what he was doing in the first few games of the season where he only got one touchdown, barely even threw the ball. Like, dude, you can't just come out and have one big good game and then disappear because your guy got injured at ACL tear. You have other receivers, and you're gonna and then the fact that you missed that guy, the other one you have, Jarvis Landry, 4 catches off 11 targets. There's something you gotta get that communication down, bro. You gotta take them out for lunch, talk to them, figure out their shit. Ask about their wife, become friends. Come on now,
I'll buy him a new watch, something.
you got the money, give him a Rolex. Come on. And then usually we have an extra special teams player of the week. I mean, the only people I can think of really for that would be the Buccaneers kicker, who we just said had the 4 for 4, which led them to victory, or Young Hoku from Atlanta, 4 for 4. Otherwise, not really much special.
I actually had Ryan Suka.
Oh, Ryan Suckup, okay. And crap, who was he with again?
Put me on the spot.
I know, because I'm like trying to remember. I'm like, oh my gosh, Suckup. Then we talked about him too.
Oh yeah, no, Suckup is with the Bucks.
Okay, he's the Bucks kicker. Yeah, that's the one I was thinking
Yeah,
about.
that's what I thought.
So yeah, he
Um,
he would be our probably special teams player of the week. Didn't put him down, but it was one of those things where it was like didn't really have
he
much.
had I was gonna say he had 4 field goals, completely perfect. One extra point attempt, 1 extra point. He is actually 4 straight games where he has perfect kicks.
Well then,
He has not missed a single kick in 4 games.
so far, Suckup is actually looking like a great kicker. Also, as a possible Pro Bowl selection. So we'll have to give that to Suckup then. Good job, Ryan Suckup. Okay, we're going with our predictions. Last part of the show, guys. Our favorite part sometimes. Until we lose badly like we did last week.
Yeah, last week was not great. I went 7-7. Jet went 5-9. Not great for one of us.
The week before I went so good, and then this week it was like I got a little cocky.
Yep. Last week I went 7-7 or I went 7-6 because there was a delayed game or
At least you went even
we
there,
missed
but
a game.
at least stayed even there. All right.
Hey, staying above 50%. That's my goal.
He's turning to Advin Terry. Oh goodness. He could be. He could be for the Bucks. He could be. You never know.
Hey, don't sleep on fucking Justin Tucker there, Rooster.
So today's game we have going on Packers versus Niners. I'm gonna before I know the game already started. I know there's already probably a score. I'm gonna go with the Packers though because I mean Niners had to figure out their quarterback situation with Mullins and Garoppolo. Packers just got Aaron Jones back, so you know Aaron Jones is gonna be wanting to run the rock quite a bit. Devontae's looking good. I gotta go with the Packers.
Yeah, I'm definitely going with the Packers as well. I think Raj is a little angry after last week.
Mm-hmm. That's for sure. And I know that he wants to definitely prove that his team he wants to get his team still back because I know Chicago's having their games right now, but they're still keeping up with the Packers right now. I'm cringing. Our defense sucks. well,
Yeah, it does,
okay,
Iverson. They're running all over
you,
you right now.
I mean, especially you gotta look at who you're going against. So Iverson, you got last week you went against Dalvin Cook, which I mean one of the top backs in the league, and then Raheem Mostert, who's one of the top upcoming backs in the league. You're gonna kind of mm, you're gonna be dealing with some shit. But I still think that I still think it's gonna be a Packer win. It's just that yeah, unless the Packers defense figures out how to stop the rush, it's gonna be a long game.
Yeah, it is.
Next up, we have an interesting one. Excuse me. Broncos versus Falcons. Um, ooh, that's a tough one. Honestly, I mean, Drew Lock had a great game against the. I kind of want to say Falcons on this one against the Broncos.
Yeah, that's what I went, actually. I went
Yeah,
Falcons.
I just
I think they're
feel
going to pull this one out.
I feel like Matt Ryan just is gonna show up. Honestly, I feel like that defense on Broncos just still lost right now. They're not too sure. Like I mean, is because Von Miller's out for the season still, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so he got the foreign whatever it was. So yeah, I mean Broncos just don't have a defense right now. Um, it's gonna be a weird one to watch. Like if Matt Ryan's on point, it's gonna be just deadly. Otherwise, we shall see. Seahawks versus Bills. This one I'm excited for, not because I'm a Seahawks fan. I feel like it's gonna be a great battle of Josh Allen and Russell Wilson. I feel like, as far as who's gonna win, oh my gosh, it's in Buffalo too. I think, right?
It is.
Jeez, that's a tough one.
I'm going with Seahawks.
I understand that. Oh man, I wanted uh, tough one. Like I want to say Seattle, but also like I said, another quarterback duo I forgot to mention: Josh Allen, Stephon Diggs. Once I did, I don't remember. But another quarterback duo that is just ridiculously deadly. And I know our Seahawks defensive backs are not that great. I know we have some right now, and I know people want to give them credit, but for the most part, defensive backs still are not top notch in the league. So going against Stephon Diggs and Josh Allen, I don't know. I feel like I'm gonna say
Definitely going to
Seattle.
be a
I got.
close game.
I'm gonna say Seattle. I'm gonna say it's gonna be a close game, but Seattle, like, just because Russ Wilson has been amazing this year, ridiculously amazing. I'm gonna go. I have faith in Russ.
I respect it.
Bears versus Titans. Wait, didn't we just see this game? No, it didn't.
No.
Uh, Titans are on a 2-game losing streak. I'm sure they want to step up. Yeah, Ben and Juju, another great combination. And Ben and Chase Claypool even do. That's another good one. They've been doing good together.
Mapletron.
But Nick Foles against the Titans. I don't know. I don't know. I almost like I might have to go with the Titans on this one just because.
I went Titans. The first time this season I'm betting against the Bears.
Yeah, I feel like Nick, as long as they run the ball with Derrick Henry a lot more, I feel like they can do something. They really could. But that's just like I said, depends if they run them. So, oh man, that's a tough one though, because I do want to see. I do think the Bears could pull this one out, especially with that new rookie that's coming up, Mooney, doing really well. But yeah, I just see Titans pulling it out somehow. And then another good one that I will let you discuss more: Ravens and Colts. Like this is gonna be a really good fucking game. I feel like.
That is definitely going to be a good game. Um, I think Ravens definitely need to put their big boy pants on,
Yep.
but I'm going with my team. Ravens are going to win, not by a lot. It's going to be a close game. I think Patrick Queen is going to step up a little bit. I'm not sure if Mark Ingram's coming back or not, but I'm sure he's been giving Dobbins some pointers about how he can truck through guys a little bit harder.
I
So I'm going Ravens.
I feel like. Excuse me. I feel like this one's so tough because I feel like you said, I'm looking at it like Lamar and Phillip Rivers against those two defenses because you got the Colts with like top five defense and the Ravens another top five defense going against each other, going against like Phillip Rivers and Lamar Jackson. And I'm kind of looking at it like, okay, who's gonna hit who harder? Who's gonna get the most pressure on who the worst? And I mean, Indy, I mean, has that O line. They could protect Rivers, but I don't trust Rivers under pressure, and so I almost like I want to say the Ravens, honestly, but like I said, it's gonna be a defensive game. I'm gonna tell you that right now. It's gonna be a huge defensive game for the Ravens to pull.
100%.
So I'm gonna go with you. I'm gonna say Ravens, but like I said, this one's a toss up just because both defenses are just stacked, and I can't wait to see it. It's gonna be if I can see it, I would love to watch it, but if not, whatever. Panthers versus Chiefs. I gotta give it. I gotta give it the Chiefs. I'm sorry, Panthers, but you got Mahomes. You got. I don't even have to explain it. You got just. Yeah, it's gonna be deadly. I feel like
Yep, I got Chiefs as well.
Chiefs are gonna win by at least two touchdowns. I think. And next up, we have Lions versus Vikings, another NFC North showdown. That's gonna be it's in Minnesota too. That's gonna be even more interesting. So, uh, oh, they switched dive with the quarterback to just slide single. They don't have to double tap it. That'd be nice. For,
Hmm.
but for this game, I'm gonna say Minnesota, just because Dalvin Cook with the running game, and they don't have a running game on Detroit right now.
Yeah, same. I like the Vikings. I think they're on a big high after their win against Rodgers. So I think they're going to play their hearts out,
Yeah,
destroy the Lions.
yeah. And another fun choice. We got the Giants versus the Washington football team. I'm gonna go with Washington on this one. I'm gonna give Kyle Allen the benefit of the doubt. See how I think he's gonna. I want to see him kind of do more production right there in Washington, kind of show up. That he can be the quarterback of the future there because I know he has chance in Carolina, didn't do much. Now he's in Washington where Haskins blew his opportunity, and now he's the starter. Don't blow it there, Kyle. Like, do your thing. Show up against the Giants. Yeah,
Yeah, I'm going the same. Washington. Um, just don't think the Giants have it in them. And Washington seems to be pulling themselves together a little bit better, and I think they're going to come out on top.
yeah. And next up, we have the Texans versus the Jaguars, and AFC South showdown as well. Honestly, with this one, I'm going with Texans because I think that it's been confirmed that the Jaguars are starting their backup quarterback, who's a six-round rookie from Oregon State, something like
Even if they start in Minshew, I ain't picking them anymore.
that.
Not until they win at least three straight.
Just kind of put you guys in perspective. After winning their first game of the season, the Jacksonville Jaguars are 0-7, or 0-7 this year. Just not stepping up.
The fuck.
Yeah, yeah, it's been bad. Uh, but to this week coming up against the Texans, I'm gonna give the Texans. I think Deshaun's gonna show up. I think that Willie Snead and all the receivers are gonna get some decent receptions and like stats wise, they're gonna get good decent yards and stuff. David Johnson might run in a touchdown or two if they end up within the five, but we'll see. Raiders versus Chargers. Oof. I kind of want to give it to the Chargers on this one, just because I feel like that they're like really bummed about that close loss to the Broncos, and I think they're ready to go after the Raiders this week with everything they got, and just like especially with another AFC West division rival. I think they really wanted to like show up against the Raiders, honestly.
Yeah, I'm actually doing the same. I mean, I love the Raiders, just not even necessarily as an actual team, just as a brand, I guess. I do love the Raiders, but yeah,
Yeah,
I think Chargers are going to come out on top on this one. Like you said, this is a divisional game. I think this is where Justin Herbert has, he kind of needs to prove himself that he is going to be a franchise quarterback.
that's true. Next game we had up was the Steelers versus Cowboys. I'm going Steelers on that one. There's no
Oh
doubt.
yeah, naturally,
Yeah,
Steelers as well. They're killing it this year, and
they're on
Cowboys just
point,
seem to be
and
falling apart now.
Steelers have an idea of what they're doing. They got everything down. Whereas, yeah, the Cowboys just have no idea. And next up, we have the Dolphins versus Cardinals. Tua's second game going against the Cardinals. I gotta go with the Cardinals in this one. D Hop and Kyler Murray are gonna just destroy that secondary. Tua's gonna do what he can against the Cardinals, but I feel like it's gonna be just Cardinals all the way on this one.
So, I mean, we do still have two more games to go over, but I do feel like this is going to be our rivalry of the week. Feel like this is the one game that we're going to go against each other because I'm going Dolphins on this one. I think Tua tested the waters a little bit last week. Got his first real taste of the NFL, and now he's playing a more legitimate team this year or this week rather. So I think he's really going to buckle down and do the best that he can. Kind of same in the Justin Herbert situation. I think this is kind of a game where he needs to, okay, you drafted me in the first round for a reason.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I definitely could see it happening. I would love to see that. Just gotta have Tua just do more throwing. I mean, like I said, 11, 21, 93 yards. Definitely need to get better than that on future endeavors. So we'll see how he does this next week, like you said, and how he does working with the first team, all first team going forward. So yeah, uh, Saints versus Bucks, another NFC South showdown. Breeze versus Brady, number two. I'm gonna give it to. I'm gonna give it to Brady of that one and the
Yep,
Bucks.
I'm going Brady as well.
Yeah, I just feel like the Bucks have more weapons and stuff, whereas New Orleans is still good, still a great team, especially with the acquisition of Quan Alexander. Um, but I still feel like
And this is the first game that Antonio Brown is going to be active.
that's true, and so we're gonna see how Antonio Brown does with the Buccaneers as well with Brady. which
Oh, so we already saw how Antonio Brown did with Brady. They one drive, 6 receptions, targeted 7 times for a touchdown.
you mean back in New England.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing. Though. That's why I always say we're gonna see how he does here, though. I mean, sure, you're gonna. I mean, I still think they're gonna have a great chemistry together, but I feel like they still got to get through. Like it's like Gronkowski when Gronkowski and him were in New England, they had great chemistry together. When they started down here in Tampa, they literally didn't have much going for them because Arians kept having Gronk be a blocker at first, then the catcher, and I think he realized like Gronk needed to get downfield for catches, but that's why I'm saying like maybe with Antonio Brown, he might throw him in some plays, but I feel like he's still gonna warm him up to it. He's not just gonna throw him in the whole time. But still, I still think Bucks are gonna come away with the win on this one, and I am excited to see what's gonna happen with Quan Alexander possibly being in the team and Antonio Brown on the Buccaneers as well. I think it's gonna be fun to watch. And speaking of the Patriots, the last game of the week is Patriots versus Jets. Patriots all the way. No need to question that. We don't need to talk about it no more.
Yep.
And so,
Although I will say, if there is a game for the Jets to win, it's this one based off of how the Patriots have been playing recently.
I agree 100%. Yep. So, otherwise, besides that, we have reached the end of our football talk. It has been great. Chief, right up here for you guys. Get to see him in person now. He's going to be here from now on. We are going to enjoy that fact and we are going to love that fact because
Yeah.
now it's not just my face, it's his face right up there. It's going to be great. Great. So, anyway, we'll be back here next week, probably around the same day. We like doing this Thursdays before the Thursday night football game so we can get our stuff in. It's gonna be a great time though, guys. Feel free to keep on coming back. It's gonna be on YouTube as well. Feel free to check out YouTube for this video and for other videos over the past few weeks. And wait, is that Jesus? No, that's Chief Jesus though, right up there, buddy. That's right. That's right.
That's right.
And and yep, got the Ravens uniform, the Ravens bed sheets, and don't forget he had it on. Let's where's that bad boy? Oh wait, bam! The Ravens hat. That's right, Iverson. You ever question if he's a Ravens fan or not? Take a look at that room and you tell me again if you think he's a Ravens fan.
Bleed purple.
Bleed purple. But all right, guys, we will be back on in a few minutes. And yes, I mean a few minutes this time, Iverson. We'll be back on, and by Iverson, you better be ready. He's ready to play you in our player league. He's ready. Baltimore
Get
versus
your
Green
ass
Bay.
stumped.
Oh, come for you. All right. Catch you guys in a bit. Much love. Thank you for catching this